Action News gets the story, then goes beyond it. With reporters live on the scene. Get the thorough story, the human story. Quick, turn on Channel 2 Action News.
A city is a place where people grow, create, work. But where there is no work, there can be no city. Dick Reardon's helped create 77,000 jobs for working families, 77,000 opportunities, 77,000 dreams. Mike Wu hasn't created a single job in his lifetime. Until we bring work back to LA, we can't bring hope back to our people. Reardon for mayor.
Love Connection, tonight at 7:30 on Channel 2.
Now, on the 6 o'clock Action News, he was crippled by a would-be car thief. Now he wants his own brand of justice.
A sad story to tell again. Vandals leave their ugly marks on a school once more.
And an inside look at a museum going for broke and taking some of its employees with it.
On this Tuesday, June 1st, 1993.
This is Action News for all of Southern California with Bree Walker and Michael Tuck. Now, the 6 o'clock Channel 2 Action News.
Good evening. Time is running out tonight for police and for a man left paralyzed in a carjacking attempt. If they don't catch the suspect soon, he'll go scot-free. Action News has that story live on the scene in the city of Orange with Orange County correspondent Dave Lopez. Dave?
It has to do with statute of limitations. It was a crime that stunned the city of Orange. It baffled the police department and left a 25-year-old man paralyzed from the waist down. And now he wants to find the man who did it because, as we mentioned, time is running out.
Somebody came forward this far along the stage.
He doesn't call it an all-out mission. He won't, and he physically can't spend 24 hours a day trying to track the suspect. But Rory Weichel would sure like to know who shot him that night in his own driveway, January 5th, 1991.
It still bothers me a few things. One thing is that I don't really know what happened that night.
At the time, Weichel was 25 years old, a picture of health, good job, and a fiancée. He drove into his driveway that night, a little after 10 o'clock, and left the engine running. He was going to pick something up from the kitchen.
Rory said he was inside the house less than 30 seconds. When he came out, he saw a young man behind the wheel of his car trying to get the car in gear. He was trying to steal it. The next thing he remembers is they're exchanging angry words. Then he sees the young suspect pull out a gun. Then he feels a burning sensation in his neck. He doesn't remember anything else after that. What he does know, he's paralyzed for the rest of his life.
And the suspect, possibly a teenager, has never been caught.
As the suspect was running away, I went to Roy instead of chasing the suspect.
Because you saw him, Rory needed help.
Right, laying on the ground.
We've exhausted virtually all the opportunities for us to distribute this flyer. We've done everything that we would normally do in a case of this nature.
The suspect faces attempted murder and attempted auto theft charges, and time is running out. Statute of limitations has only 8 months to run. That's why Rory wants his media push to keep his case alive. Somebody, he said, had to see something.
And for people, you know, if they can just reach into their gut and, you know, help somebody out.
Weigel says that if he could, he would go door to door walking, acting as a detective. But a very brief moment in his life, less than 3 years ago, makes that impossible.
Okay, Dave, we hope that someone can help.
For the fourth time in a month, vandals hit an elementary school for special education students. That leaves teachers and students wondering how they'll cope with the emotional and physical losses. Jody Baskerville reports.
Taken. We've had our computers stolen, we've had our TVs stolen, VCRs, closed caption devices that we use for, these kids to watch TV.
There isn't a whole lot left to steal inside Jackie Sackheim's classroom. Vandals have already walked off with most of the visual aids her students need to make learning easier. This is the fourth time in 30 days the Wilshire Crest Elementary School has been turned into a crime statistic.
What's your name? M-I-L-C-A. Milka.
How are you able to continue teaching without this equipment?
Well, I don't know. It's a very good question. Teachers are very remarkably flexible, and we make do with what we have or what we don't have, and I guess that's what we'll do at this point. We've got a month left of school, and we're hoping there aren't any more break-ins.
The special education classrooms were the hardest hit. Expensive electronic equipment, including decoding machines for deaf students, will not be replaced. The school budget is just too tight.
The equipment is not there when the children need it. The children who can't write and need the computers, the children who can't hear and use the VCR, the special hearing equipment. All this is very important for these students. They already have strikes against them.
How does it make you feel? Mad that they broke the door. It's bad to do that. I feel very angry about it, about the vandals.
Jody Baskerville, Channel 2 Action News.
A videotaped beating leads to half a dozen guilty pleas in Las Vegas tonight. The 6 union members were picketing outside the Frontier Hotel in April when they began fighting with 2 tourists from California. All 6 agreed to plead guilty to misdemeanor charges. In exchange, felony charges against the group were dropped. Possible fines range from $2,000 to $500.
Another accident today involving the Southern California Blue Line. But this time it wasn't a daredevil trying to beat the train to the crossing. 2 cars collided at Washington and Long Beach, and one careened into the path of the Blue Line. One motorist slightly injured. No one on the train was hurt, but a small part of one rail car was torn off.
With a week to go before LA's mayoral election, a new Los Angeles Times poll calls the race dead even. That's good news for Michael Wu, bad news for Richard Riordan, whose lead has vanished. Senior correspondent Bob Jimenez has reaction.
Riordan, who recently admitted being arrested for drunk driving 20 years ago, is now tied with Wu at 46%, an erosion of 7 points. It didn't show today as the candidate faced a friendly crowd of business leaders in Woodland Hills. Riordan, in fact, yanked a ghost out of Michael Wu's past, his conscientious objector status during Vietnam. Riordan said that makes Wu soft on crime.
We don't need somebody who's been in favor of sanctuary. We don't need somebody who's against the death penalty. We don't need somebody who would give a child in high school a second chance after they brought a gun in.
Riordan said he isn't troubled by the Times poll.
We've always thought the race would be close, and obviously it won't be decided by polls. It'll be decided next Tuesday by the voters of L.A.
Wu addressed the crowd, too, saying he would be tough on crime and gun-carrying teenagers in public schools.
I'm in favor of taking them out of the schools, putting them into some kind of tough military-style boot camp under strict supervision.
Wu later gloated over his new standing in the Times poll.
I think it shows that even though Dick Riordan is trying to spend $6 million to buy this election, that if he can't even come clean with the voters, if he's not able to level with the voters about his own criminal record, I think that that raises some fundamental questions about people trusting him to be the next mayor.
Dick Riordan left a crowd today that clearly favored him, but Wu, it is obvious, is now taking advantage of a dead-even race in the San Fernando Valley, where he does not enjoy a lot of political strength. Bree?
It'll be an exciting Tuesday next week.
Watch.
Well, there's still much more ahead on Action News at 6. Investigative reporter Harvey Levin turns up a case of government waste that is truly for the birds.
Also, a Southland campus becomes a model for educators everywhere.
And a landmark day for CBS and all of television news.
And a landmark day for weather, too. Stay tuned for that, and I'll show you why.
Channel 2 Action News is sponsored in part by Wells Fargo.
Friends and family once got together to raise the roof. In that same spirit, Wells Fargo now comes through with a 5% rebate to help you buy or refinance your home. Introducing the California Advantage.
Okay, let's take it out.
Only from Wells Fargo, a better brand of credit card. Every purchase earns a 5% rebate toward a home loan. Apply now, 1-800-547-WELLS for a rebate that'll raise the roof.
Wilford Brimley for new Quaker Toasted Oatmeal.
Potatoes, corn, what's this? Quaker Toasted Oatmeal?
Yep.
It's a new one on me. Excuse me, sir, could you show us the Quaker Toasted Oatmeal? Over here with the cold cereals. Can't be. There you go. Oatmeal that's cold and crunchy. Tastes terrific.
New Quaker Toasted Oatmeal, original or honey nut. There's grains of real Quaker oatmeal on every oatmeal flake.
Quaker Toasted Oatmeal, huh?
Yep.
It's my other oatmeal.
California is famous for its diversity, but watch how Arrowhead seems to satisfy most everyone. Then we'll be back with a special offer.
California, here I come. Right back where I started from. Where bowers of flowers bloom in the sun.
Californians have a well-deserved reputation for doing their own thing. But that doesn't stop millions of them from doing the same thing. Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water, pure California.
Now here's that special offer. Just call this number to have Arrowhead delivered to your home or office. You'll get 2 free bottles of Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water plus 1 month's free cooler rental. You'll also get dependable delivery you can always count on. So call this number right now to get 2 free bottles of Arrowhead and 1 month's free cooler rental. Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water, pure California.
The County of Los Angeles is in dire financial straits. Well, that's no secret. The budget act's falling everywhere. But Action News has learned of a bigwig who was spared big time. Investigative reporter Harvey Levin has the exclusive story.
Times are tough for the poor in L.A. County. As the Board of Supervisors slashes vital services to keep the county afloat, those with the least must now do with even less. But that's not true for everyone. Case in point, Tom Hibbard, a longtime chief deputy to former Supervisor Pete Shabaram. When Shabaram retired in 1991, Hibbard was transferred to the L.A. County Natural History Museum. His job? Producing films about birds, though he had absolutely no film experience. Hibbard's salary, more than $90,000 a year. The museum has been forced to trim its staff by a whopping 40%. Back in July, Hibbard was among the ranks of those who would be laid off, but the Board of Supervisors put a freeze on layoffs, so Hibbard stayed on. And by buying more time, Hibbard got a big financial bonus. He qualified for an early retirement incentive. Last January, when Hibbard finally took his early exit with a pension of more than $50,000 a year, his golden parachute lined his pockets to the tune of an additional $3,700 a year. In the 20 months Hibbard worked as a producer, the county paid him more than $150,000 in salary. And what did taxpayers get in return?
He was to produce films, and the issue there was to be able to generate revenue for the museum.
He produced no films.
He was unable to produce any films.
Just what can $150,000 buy? Here at the Weingart Center in downtown L.A., it buys a lot.
We could bring on 5 additional social workers, caseworkers, who could help people locate housing and jobs here in the area. We could also serve 50,000 meals in the cafeteria that we have, and about 8,500 sleeping nights, room nights for people, for homeless people down in the Skid Row area.
Though the Museum of Natural History has already had its staff cut, another 30 employees could be laid off soon. And if that happens, they simply get their walking papers without any kind of golden parachute. Jose.
But a lot of people upset about that, Harvey.
There are indeed.
Okay. Who okayed it all?
Well, the county knew that he was moving from Shabaram to the museum, and the museum kept him on, so there are a lot of people involved here.
Let's stay on it. Okay.
Thanks, Harvey.
These stories are making up tonight's Metro Briefs. Angry Latino students and parents boycott 2 schools in Compton. They demand the firing of some teachers and the hiring of bilingual instructors, and they claim the district ignores the needs of children who don't speak English. Officials say the district does hire bilingual teachers.
The standoff continues at UCLA between hunger strikers who want a Chicano Studies Department and the administration. In the 8th day of the fast, parents and representatives of the hunger strikers met with the chancellor but reported no progress. The Marcus Garvey School in L.A. is now being used as a nationwide model for educating inner-city youth. Several corporations donated money today to the cause, including Shell Oil, which presented a check for $20,000. The goal there is to revitalize inner-city education. Noble goal it is.
Some good work there. Stay with us tonight. We'll show you live why the phones are ringing off the hook. If you have a job to fill, you should call us at 1-800-606-2222.
It's a good number. And Connie Chan, then and now. We'll hear from the anchor who'll be sitting alongside Dan Rather later tonight.
Go, 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 Joseph, says Gary Franklin. See Michael Damian in Joseph now. Must close June 27th. Call Ticketmaster today.
Roaches. They keep coming back because they may be immune to your insecticides. So we developed new Combat Super Bait insecticide. Both our lab and home tests prove no roach is immune. Here's how it works. Roaches take the bait back to their nest and start a domino effect. It keeps on killing for 3 months. We guarantee it or your money back. New Combat Super Bait in the gold box. We've made a science of killing your roaches.
Does it go when you give it the gas? Good acceleration is vital. But if gasoline leaves deposits on your intake valves, acceleration can bog down. That's why we're introducing Formula Shell, Shell's cleanest gasoline ever. All 3 grades reduce harmful deposits other gasolines can leave behind to help you get the acceleration you need when you need it. A powerful reason to go with the best-selling gasoline in the world. Shell, miles ahead.
So what do you want from the 90s? Well, the Oldsmobile Achieva Special Edition can't give you that. But it does have air, automatic, anti-lock brakes, cruise, tilt, power windows and locks, and more. And it costs only $14,695, which could leave you feeling very good about yourself. It's your money.
Nobody makes fajitas taste like the new fajitas at El Torito. While others use frozen chicken, we use fresh, plump breasts of chicken. Others use flat meat. El Torito uses only fresh, juicy skirt steak. We use 7 fresh garden vegetables sautéed in spices of the Yucatan. And we're so proud of our new fajitas, we'll give you our guacamole appetizer free, prepared fresh at your table, just for trying them.
El Torito. Taste the difference. Discover the value.
You know it, you feel it. Southern California is still in the middle of a deep recession. A lot of people are still looking for work, and Action News wants to help. So on June 17th, we're putting on another special Back to Work program. Chris Kanangla is at our hotline central with details. Chris?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the phones are starting to ring already, and it's really quite a simple and elegant program. We did this last year. We're going to be doing it again this year, and it really works quite simply. We'll show you how. No tape. Sorry about that. All right, let me just explain to you how this thing works. If you are an employer and have a job to list with us, you call a number. That number, which is on the screen right now, is 1-800-606-2222. Again, 1-800-606-2222. What happens then is that your call comes into this room, and one of these folks who are manning the phone bank for us will fill out a form just like the one I'm holding right here, listing your name and the type of job that you have available for someone out there in our viewing audience who is unemployed at the time. Now, for instance, here's a plumbing job that's available, one in aluminum patio furniture. Here's one for a companion. And then on June 17th from the hours of 7:30 to 9 p.m., we will have live on here on Channel 2 broadcast, which will put all these jobs out on the screen, and you'll have a chance to see what is available and then give you a number to contact and try to match the employer with the employee. So that's how the thing is going to work. Again, it's on the 17th. We're asking that if you are unemployed, you do not call the 800 number that we put on the screen. But if you are an employer that has a job to offer, that you do call 1-800-606-2222. We're offering lots of jobs, and hopefully we'll have as much success this year as we had last year.
Let's hope those folks call. Keep calling as you are right now. Time now for us to check in with Steve Rambo. A little bit earlier, he'd said something about this being a landmark day. It doesn't look too spectacular to me. What's up?
On the East Coast, June 1st starts the hurricane season. But here on the West Coast, it's the suntan season, and we want you to do that in a safer way than you've done it in the past. So we're going to give you the Sunser scale. But first, backyard report time. Let's go talk to a new backyard reporter, Loretta Jackman, Huntington Beach.
This is Loretta from Huntington Beach. Temperature in my backyard right now is 72 degrees. It's a beautiful day as usual down here. A few scattered clouds off to the north, but otherwise it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yes, I talked to her for a while there. She said, well, I'm not near the beach, but I certainly do have a beautiful backyard with a jacuzzi and a great view. And I said, how nice. 77 was the high today at the Civic Center. 64 the low this morning. 100 degrees, your record breaker back in 1879. 47, your record low back in 1908. Now it's time for the fun's over. Now let's get down to the serious business of sun exposure, and that's what the Sunser scale is all about. Now what we want to do first is tell you about your different skin types, and that'll help you figure out the Sunser scale. Skin type 1, typically red, blonde hair, blue-green eyes, very light skin, mostly burns and burns very easily. Seldom do you tan. But skin type 2, slightly different. You get the light to medium hair and eyes, and you usually burn. Sometimes you get a tan. Skin type 3, that's moderate burn, usually tans. In terms of your skin type, how it looks, medium hair, medium to dark eyes, medium to olive skin. Skin type 4, that's where you get a nice tan, you burn mildly, you think you can lay out in the sun, but everybody needs to do it safely. And skin type 5, dark brown tan, seldom burns. And here's how tomorrow's Sunser scale works out. See, we get your UV high, 98, Santa Monica tomorrow. Type 1, the light skin, 20 minutes. Type 5, an hour and 52 minutes. Now for a little bit of weather. Let's go for that real quick. Here's your satellite photo, the storminess. It's all moving out of the area now. High pressure developing for us. Nothing to worry about till the weekend when we start to watch these clouds push into the system, and you'll see how that affects us right here on this 5-day outlook. You see what's happening? See there for Saturday? Lots of clouds. That's a storm on the far eastern end of your screen that you saw a minute ago. It'll be coming this way for Saturday. Maybe a little drizzle. No rain heavy expected at this point, but just wanted to let you know that it could be a little bit moist out there. That's it for the next 5 days. And pretty soon we'll be handing out these brochures, too. I'm all out of time. I used up Chris's time and everybody's time.
But I got to tell you, when I start worrying about a suntan, that is a landmark day,
hey,
Steve.
You should. We'll talk about this, but everyone should. It's something that everyone should be concerned about, no matter what your skin color.
Just kidding.
I know you are, but I'm serious about this.
Next up, Jim Hill, live from Montreal. The Kings take aim on the Stanley Cup. He'll have early highlights.
Go, 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 Joseph, says Gary Franklin. See Michael Damian in Joseph now. Must close June 27th. Call Ticketmaster today.
Sometimes cops and love go hand in hand.
In fact, they come with their own handcuffs.
So stay tuned after Real Stories of the Highway Patrol for Arrested Romance.
Hey, just a suggestion.
Love Connection tonight at 7:30 after Real Stories on Channel 2.
This summer, you could end up at another family barbecue. Or you could be rocking on Paradise Beach. Ride the wave to TV's hottest new show, Paradise Beach.
Starts Monday, June 14th at 3 on Channel 2.
Introducing KFC hickory-flavored wings. Tender fried wing pieces brushed with a hickory mesquite-flavored sauce. A taste enjoyed by great outdoorsmen. And not so great.
Here's a great deal from KFC. For just $9.99, get 10 hickory wings, 5 pieces of original recipe, and 5 pieces of extra tasty crispy chicken. The KFC Variety Bucket, just $9.99. Right now at KFC.
We are KFC. We do chicken right.
If you were considering buying a new luxury sedan, this little demonstration of handling, could be a major turning point. Oops. For it appears that the front-wheel drive Acura Legend sedan, even with its longer wheelbase for a smooth ride, has the inside track on luxury and maneuverability. Test drive the Legend at your Southern California Acura dealer.
You want to build your kids a tree house, so you go to Home Base, where it's as if everything is on sale every day. The prices are so low. You can't believe how much you got for your money.
Home Base has the lowest prices every day, like this Sunbeam gas barbecue with a porcelain-coated, easy-clean cooking grid. And check out swing and slide kits and accessories from Nuco. There are a variety of options so it can grow with your children. Home Base, it's that simple.
Only one place to be tonight where the Kings and Montreal Canadiens battle it out. Jim Hill's there for us.
Bree, it is quiet on the streets of Montreal. The reason all the folks are inside, or most of them are inside at the Forum here watching the Kings and Canadiens go at it in Game 1 of the best-of-7 series. Let me show you some of the highlights from the first period. It was 3 minutes into the period, and the Kings get on the scoreboard first. Luc Robitaille, who was born and raised in the Montreal area, scores on a power play, and the Kings have a 1-0 lead. And it stayed that way until 2 minutes left in the period. Ed Rodin of the Canadiens will shoot. Bad luck here for the Kings as it goes in off Gretzky's skate. It's tied at 1, and the second period is just underway here in Montreal. It is the Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens all tied at 1-1. Now, it could be said that as Kelly Hrudey goes, so goes the Kings. The Kings' veteran goaltender this year has had a roller coaster up and down season. But right now, Hrudey is just 4 victories away from earning the respect that he says he dearly deserves.
Zaleski, right side, in front, save right at the goal line.
At times, Kelly Hrudey has almost single-handedly kept the Kings in the playoffs. Still, he is not the best goaltender in postseason play. His 3.75 goals against average doesn't measure up to the Canadiens' Patrick Roy, who has almost allowed a little more than 2 goals a game en route to the finals. But Hrudey does not put a lot of stock in those numbers.
I care less what my average is. I'll be honest, I don't even know what my average is. I don't know what my save percentage is. I don't know what my won-loss record is. I just know that we're all here. And stats are absolutely for losers.
Over the course of the season, Hrudey has been to hockey hell and back. Extremely strong at the beginning of the year, Hrudey's game fell apart right in the middle, raising questions about his ability that were not without merit.
I started to lose my interest, and I let in a lot of goals, and I lost some confidence, and then there was a battle to try and get that back. And And then when I did get it all back and it was all coming together, then people were still criticizing me. So it was just unfair.
The challenge. Pro basketball action, Lenny Wilkins will not become the coach of the Clippers. He resigned as coach of the Cavaliers at the end of the season. He signed today with the Atlanta Hawks.
I'm a type person, I'm very competitive. I'm an optimist, okay? And I like challenges. I'm not a person that could sit around and do nothing. So I'm not just satisfied to do nothing or to say, well, you know, I've done this and done that.
French Open tennis action today. America's Mary Jo Fernandez proved to be up to the task against Gabriela Sabatini. Mary Jo lost the first set and was down 1-5 in the second set, but she rallied to beat the tournament's third seed in a match that lasted more than 3 hours, 1-6, 7-6, and 10-8. Meanwhile, here at Montreal, we are talking about the Kings going against the Canadiens. It's in the second period, and the Kings and Canadiens are all tied at 1-1. First game, best-of-7 series for the Stanley Cup Championship. Highlights and post-game interviews for you tonight at 11 o'clock, right here on Channel 2. Jose and Bree, back to you in Los Angeles now.
We're holding our breath.
Indeed. Thanks, Jim. We'll be right back after this.
Seen all there is to see at Disneyland? And come on out to Six Flags Magic Mountain for the family rides. Like the all-new Yosemite Sam Sierra Falls and the new High Sierra Territory.
Oh, it's great!
Plus, the General Sam.
I have never seen a tree like this before. It's enormous.
Very big. I'd love to be with my family, and this is the place for us to do it. There's things for the whole family.
Come to the theme park where you can do it all. Six Flags Magic Mountain. It just got a lot better for families.
It's great!
We're here to settle the question. Which radio station gives you more news, KNX or KFWB? We do.
We do.
Who does more traffic? We do.
We do.
Who does the news 24 hours a day? We do.
I think that's us. All right, now I'll talk. We don't do news all the time. We never have. We never will. We do baseball games, football games, cookies.
So when you want news now, turn to KFWB News 98, the only 24-hour news.
It sizzles like summer, and it won't last long. Introducing Red Lobster's Summer Seafood Feast, one of our biggest seafood combinations, just $9.99. With scallops hot off the grill, fried clams, a fish fillet. Plus, you get 2 kinds of shrimp, succulent scampi and golden fried shrimp. Wow, 5 kinds of seafood for an incredibly low $9.99. So hurry in and feast tonight, because the Summer Seafood Feast ends soon. Only at Red Lobster.
The wine glass test has been a little overdone. So has the ball bearing test. But in real life, what counts is the corkscrew test. Thread the needle test. Hairpin and stop on a dime tests. The new BMW 5 Series V8s. Their sense of the road reduces the competition to senseless luxury.
Now at the Mark Taper Forum is Twilight, Los Angeles, 1992, about last year's civil unrest by Anna DeVere Smith. Call 365-3500.
In just a few minutes, Connie Chung takes her seat beside anchorman Dan Rather on the CBS Evening News. She says there are no opening night jitters, but a lot of young people say she's breaking new ground as a role model. More from Marianne Cushy.
This is the CBS Evening News.
It was tried once before on another network and failed. When Barbara Walters teamed up with Harry Reasoner, it wasn't a match made in heaven. But tonight, Connie Chung joins Dan Rather on the CBS Evening News.
I hope that the young women who will try to get into television news will know that they need to be good writers, they need to be good reporters, they need to have spent a good deal of time in the field and at the typewriter long before they end up at some sort of desk.
Chung anchored the news in Los Angeles for 5 years at Channel 2. She's traveled the world covering stories of high profile. Today, seniors at Hollywood High say Chung is an excellent role model who is breaking new ground.
It's just one change, but this will spark other changes. In order to have a fire, you have to have a spark. So this is going to start something. Even though it's one little thing, this is big. This is really big because she's going to go on primetime TV. She's going to go, this is really a huge step.
Just like women are going to in combat, they've been trained to go in combat, the same thing. I mean, they're little things, you know, they're building up.
You have to know where you're going. And for me, I know where I'm going. I know that I'm going to be a director someday. Of course, there's a lot of hurdles and a lot of obstacles I'll have to go through, but I'm going to get there. And I think that with that in mind, that's how people make it where they are. Like Mrs. Chung. Obviously, she knew where she wanted to go and how she wanted to do it, and she did it, and now she's there.
For a woman wanting to be Walter Cronkite, it is a dream come true. Marianne Kushi, Channel 2 Action News.
You can see for yourself in just a few minutes as Connie Chung takes her place alongside Dan Rather.
And we have no doubt that she'll do just fine with that, as she does with everything.
Yes.
Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good night.
See you at 11.